It is September all over again in France. The country is without a prime minister, the president is facing calls of resignation, and the parliament is split between the left, centre and right. The delicate political marriage fell apart in Paris yesterday when the far right and the leftist lawmakers joined hands to topple the government. It's not like France hasn't seen no trust votes before, but no French government had lost a confidence vote since the year 1962. So Michel Barnier went down as the shortest-serving prime minister in modern French history. His gamble of forcing through a social security financing bill without a vote did not play exactly he expected it to. The government said it was necessary to stabilize France's finances, but the opposition was having none of it. The latest crisis has plunged the Eurozone's second largest economy deeper into a political crisis. People are uncertain about the future, and the unions are desperately waiting for the next government.
I think it's a good thing. My opinion is that they didn't respect the contract they made with the French people at the legislative elections, not to ally with the far right, and they're reaping what they sowed. That's my opinion.
If the previous government failed with the budget, it's because they were wrong, so they have to review their document. At the hospital, if we don't apply a bandage correctly, we redo it. We don't just say, oh well, keep it this way. It's the same case here. But it's not up to us to be responsible for the mistakes they do.
This prompts the search for a prime minister all over again. Remember, after the snap parliamentary elections in June, it took the president 2 months to choose Barnier. And as rule goes, a new parliamentary election cannot be held within a year of the last one. The clock is ticking for Paris. It now risks ending the year without a stable government or a 2025 budget. A special measure allows a version of a government shutdown, much like the United States, but that will just kick the can down the road. Eventually, the president, Emmanuel Macron, will have to choose the prime minister, who will then have to present the 2025 budget. All right, for those of you who are just joining in, we are tracking the political crisis that is playing out in Paris as we speak. The Prime Minister, Michel Barnier, just hours ago resigned and handed over his resignation to the President Emmanuel Macron, who, remember, chose the Prime Minister Barnier just about 90 days ago. In fact, interestingly, it took about 2 months for Emmanuel Macron to choose the one person who could play the delicate balance between the left, the centre and the right, and Michel Barnier was sought to be that person, but 90 days and the government has fallen down. Now remember, France's government toppled after the opposition parties in the French parliament backed a vote of no confidence against the Prime Minister, who, remember, had used special powers to force through a social security budget just on Monday.
Juste devant, sur votre droite. Vous nous faites un petit arrêt, Monsieur Migaud?
And to get us in perspective now, Philippe Moret Chevrolet is joining us on this broadcast from Paris, a political analyst and communication expert at the iconic agency in Paris. Mr. Philippe, thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast.
Thank you.
Would you say you saw this coming in Paris?
Yes, we saw this coming. We have been seeing it coming from a few weeks now, because the government was trying to settle an agreement with the far right, what we call the Rassemblement National. And the far right was not a reliable partner because it had its own judicial problems and also political basis, voters that were not aligned with the fact that this movement would be participating into the government.
So now the big question is what happens next. Of course, everything is in the hands of the president.
In France, yes, the president is supposed to be nominating another prime minister, and there are three possibilities. The first possibility is that he picks again a conservative MP as a prime minister, and this conservative prime minister tries to settle an agreement again with the far right, as they already tried and failed. And maybe it could be successful this time. This is not likely, but it could happen. The other possibility is to have a technical government, what we call a gouvernement technique, a technical government, which will be non-political, not really political, and would try to face the budget problem and fix it with the help of every political party. That would be the second possibility. And the third one is that we would have an agreement with the left this time, which is the other political force in the parliament, and they could have an agreement between the moderate right and the moderate left.
Right, Philip, you're also hearing that the president is going to address the nation this evening. What is it do you think the voters should expect?
Two things, really. The first thing that we should expect is the president to announce that he has chosen another prime minister. The president's entourage has been saying that there would be a quick nomination, so maybe he will announce that he has picked up someone, or he will comment on the fact that he has picked up someone. And the other possibility is for him, to do what the French do best, talk, and try to make it sound reasonable, the situation at least, and maybe try to calm down the financial, business, and other departments that are very worried by the current situation.
All right, Philip. Nice chatting with you. Thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast.
Thank you.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.